What's up, guys? You know who it is. It's Korean Ninja MMA here. We got nice little card, right? UFC Fight Night Luke versus Muhammad 2. Coming off of a crazy-ass weekend. I'm not gonna lie, not the best of my damn bets. I mean, it was crazy. Like, every single card was going well for me. Even like the London card where people were losing money and I know I was doing well. And then that one just, threw a monkey wrench in the damn thing. But, did some good bets. Wish I would have done more. Wish I would have hedged more. I called it. If you look at my video, if you look at my Instagram, we called it the hedge. Aldo was the hedge if you're going to hedge. But, I should have taken my advice more. I should have just, bet that up more accordingly. Instead of tiny sprinkles, getting me some money, losing me some money. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. We're moving on, guys. You know what I mean? It's good. There's some good plays. My bookie sucks. Or not the actual bookie, my bookie, but mine here in Japan is crap. But yeah, it's good. Find some other cookies. I'm trying to work on some good stuff right here to get some good bets in. And let's cut to the chase. Speaking of which, let's do it. I'm gonna tell you right now, there's two fights right here, right on the first fights on this card, the prelims. We're gonna talk about these two. I think, we get a tiny little parlay going, or at least some nice parlay legs. Now we got right here in the bantamweight division, we got Heili versus Croom. Now Croom is coming down here to bantamweight. I want to see what he looks like. He's gonna be very big for the division. He's 5'11", whereas Heili is 5'5", right? So the reach obviously is going to go to Croom as well, 73 inches versus 66. Kind of even in the significant strikes landed, and the accuracy, almost even with, Croom averaging that, or rather, kind of edging it out there. And yeah, I think this is going to be a really fun fight. Now, I took some notes. I've been looking back and forth, and it's an interesting matchup because we have Heili at minus 180, so his implied odds are 64.29, right? So I think that's a kind of fair odd-wise, as he should win the matchup, 60 to 70%, I think, of the time. I mean, I understand. This is what the books are looking at, right? Okay, so if you're confident betting him, you should be confident in him winning between 60 to 70% of the time, right? But rewatching Croom versus Kelleher, it really impressed me. I remember Croom being a bit wild without much power, but his striking didn't look bad at all. I mean, he's had a lot of output. Heili struggled against Kenny, conversely, but that's because Kenny is well-rounded and fast. So I mean, we can't really. It depends if you want to link that together. Like, okay, well, Heili, was eating those crazy nasty body kicks from Kenny. I mean, it was very pink on that one side. I'm not quite sure that Croom is going to be doing the same, but he is going to have a lot of output, and he's going to be the bigger guy with a longer reach. But Croom as a plus 155 underdog means his implied odds are 39.22. Basically, you've got to ask yourself if you think Croom wins this matchup at least 44% of the time. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I think if you, I think it's worth a little sprinkle. I think on the dog. I mean, it could be dog or pass. And somebody might be thinking, come on now, Croom's sloppy. I mean, Heili should get a decision. Now, both guys, I don't think they're gonna flash KO one or the other. I was talking to shout out to all the cool guys. I got talking to Here We Go MMA, always giving good advice. And we got Brasco Bets on Instagram as well. Slick Montana, right? Slick's UFC Bets. Look it up. I mean, good stuff. You can see on my page. I have all those guys shouted out somewhere. It's pretty easy to find. But yeah, I like to talk about it. I like to see what other people are thinking, and yeah, I feel like with this one, I just, you might want to take the dog. If you want to be a little quote-unquote safer, I think the overs on this is going to be really good because, like I said, both guys are going to come out there. It could be back and forth, and I don't really see either knocking their opponent out. I don't really see a big knockout here. You might think maybe Croom's going to maybe he could land a sub, and that could end it. But I think Heili should be able to, to survive. I wouldn't be surprised with Heili getting a decision win, but it could go either way. Maybe, like I said, I want to see what the weight cut's going to look like. How is Croom going to look on the scale? So I would say if you want to bet this either way, I mean, you might want to wait. It's been a long day. You might want to wait for the weigh-ins. But I do think the overs on this, if it's over 1.5, I think that's nice for a little leg. That's a little parlay. If you got the over 2.5, I think that could hit as well. Speaking of which, we could link it here to the very next fight. We got Nunes versus Hughes. Now, Nunes is a minus 220, and Hughes is a plus 180. So Nunes' implied odds are 68.75. Kind of, for a women's fight, especially someone that's coming into the UFC. I mean, it's kind of some red flags there. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard to bet. But I think the over 2.5 like this, you could link that. And you know, the over 2.5 for Nunes and Croom, I think though that the fights, that could be a nice little parlay to sprinkle on, man. I mean, I don't really see that not hitting. But just to get the card started, you know, just something, you know, put a unit on there. Why not? I think Hughes just wants to really pop a jab out and win by points, and Nunes is way more aggressive. Hughes doesn't really utilize wrestling, which is a nice thing to note, and I haven't really seen her implement a grappling approach, so Nunes should be safe. And the reason why I bring this up is because, or rather, why the over should be a good prop is because even Panera beat Hughes by decision, and Panera was throwing with heat. And Panera, with heat, while Hughes was just, like I said, pop the jab and try to counter, which he had some success with because, you know, you don't have to put much power on it. You can just kind of you take less power on your shot. You take away the power on your shot, but because of that, you're having a speedier shot. You know. Now Nunes' kryptonite is the grappling, but I don't see Hughes having too much success there. Right? She has subs early in her career, but I don't think this will go. I think this will go like the Panera versus Hughes fight. I think we might see a repeat of that. I'm not saying that Nunes is necessarily up to that same level as Panera, but I think a bit similar in that they're both like, you know, aggressive Brazilian strikers. Or at least that's what we see a lot. You've got to be like an Angela Lee in one to beat Nunes with a sub, you know, which he did. And still, I do think, and I want to talk about, speaking of one, when you go back and watch her fights in one, I do think that actually Mei Yamaguchi beat Nunes in one, but Nunes edged the decision because of her aggressive striking. You see that when you got women's MMA, and you got unless you're getting a sub or someone's getting KO'd, right, you're going to see a lot of back and forth, and that aggressive approach can kind of help you. Like when you are physically imposing in the women's division, I think, or you land with power, you know, you're really aggressive, it can really, you know, affect the judges' thoughts on it. I mean, maybe it's a back and forth, and it's kind of interesting because Mei Yamaguchi, like I said, I mean, much smaller, or, you know, short, stockier build, you know, giving up reach in a lot of fights, but even one thing I wanted to say, like a little bit of a red flag. One reason why I don't like, you know, betting a minus 220 favorite in a, you know, women's MMA with, you know, some of them just making their debut in the UFC. You know, when you see Mei Yamaguchi was fighting her, she had such a short reach, and she would just kind of, you know, jump in and land an overhand. And I was like, what the hell are you doing? You know, you should be able to have a clear advantage. But when you have that grappling, because Mei Yamaguchi, she has a traditional karate style, but she's you know, has a lot of success through grappling. She always looks to implement her grappling. We just saw a nice little match with her grappling. Really entertaining stuff in one. But anyway, like I said, so that's Nunes' kryptonite, and I think Hughes would have to really kind of implement a grappling approach. I feel like what we've seen, I mean, look, just like when Hughes lost to Panera, like when he lost to Luke Bumi, I mean, these are obviously better strikers, and she, you know, mostly just kept it striking, right? I mean, I think it's going to be back and forth. But I think, yeah, Nunes will get it done. I would say, like, yeah, I mean, even though she's a favorite, I got to go with Nunes. I can't really bet Hughes just because she's underdog. I mean, women's MMA, who knows? But I think the over on this should, I mean, over 1.5 for sure, over 2.5. So anyway, that's kind of, it's not like a really hot take, but I do believe those first two fights, if you want to get it started, you know, just something to have fun with, I think, yeah, the Hughes versus Nunes fight over 2.5 and the Croom versus Heili fight over 2.5. If you want to just put that, could be a nice little parlay to build. And like I said, yeah, I mean, I think that's just nice. Little parlay legs, or just put them together. So anyway, guys, I'm going to have more stuff out. Please like and subscribe if you listen to all this. Comment what your thoughts about this fight, these matchups, anything you'd like to see. I'm going to have another video out with some more bets. So take it easy, guys.